have a confession. I want to be an entrepreneur. I have watched all the YouTube videos. I actually signed up for a marketing program that was $25,000 a year, but I still stayed in my job because the fear of change was so great that I wasn't willing to face it. So I took a different action and I stayed in the job that I'm currently in. I want to stop the entrepreneurial masturbation of going to YouTube and watching the latest marketing and business trend that will get me rich. Wanting and willingness met at a crossroad. Finally was able to take the willing side. So I have been alcohol free for 15 years and I want to help dads be alcohol free the same way. I wanted, before having a specific set of actions that got me to be alcohol free, to be sober. And I would constantly say, I want to get sober. I want to stop drinking. I want to. But then I would envision what would happen if I didn't get sober. And then the fear would hit me. And then I would take the dopamine way out, which was to feel good doing something else, feel good going to watch a game with some friends, and then I would end up having a beer anyways. So there's two ways that I'm breaking down wanting, or being a wanter, or being someone that's willing. Wanting has desire, really strong desire to change. Then there's a vision of what could I be when I want to change, to do that change. And then the fear of that change. How's it going to impact me at work? How's it going to impact me with my family? What if I go broke? What if they make fun of me when I stop drinking? And then there's the dopamine, the distraction action that keeps that wanting in the same category. Willingness also has a vision of what it's going to be like when I make that change. A fear and an anger, though, so painful, of what it's going to be like to change, but then what it's going to be like if I don't change. And then the secret, the kicker, is the action that's usually not filled with instant gratification. I want to stop having a dad bod. I am probably the most out of shape I've been since I became a dad. I keep saying I want to get fit, I want to get better, and I look at people from the sidelines and I'm like, man, they're doing it. But what it looks like for me, I need to understand the difference between wanting and stop playing that record. Like, man, I want to get fit. Man, I need to get fit. The difference today was that I got up and I did 100 push-ups, and it took me half an hour. And I broke it down into like 15 rep sets. And I finally got it done. What is it going to take to stop drinking? You got to be willing to empty the freezer if there's a handle of liquor in there. And that's the action, right? It's not going to feel good. It's actually going to feel bad. The only way to compound willingness is to have it connect. Like when you're on the monkey bars and you're swinging from one rung to the other one. That is what willingness looks like when it compounds. Taking one day and taking that action and swinging it to the other one. That's the only way that willingness compounds, that eventually leads to discipline, that eventually leads to confidence, that eventually leads to the change that I want to be. I want to use that framework to be the entrepreneur that I have a vision for. The entrepreneur that's going to quit his job one day to do his passion to help dads full time stop drinking alcohol and live their God dream. So I'm with you. I understand. And it's painful, man. But Tony Robbins says there's two kinds of pain. There's the pain of regret or the pain of change. Only one of those is going to give the result that I'm looking for. But they're both painful. The thing about quitting drinking is that it's almost like an inaction. It's almost like, hey, I'm not drinking, but there's an action that you have to do, and sometimes it's blurry. So one thing I like to do is to pair the action with something that's physical, that's tangible. Do 100 push-ups, no matter what they look like, no matter what shape you're in, no matter if it takes all day, but do 100 push-ups along with not drinking today. Combine it because that's the action you are taking. And the inaction of not drinking, but the action of doing the 100 push-ups, reminding you, because you're going to feel the pain, that you're not going to drink today, but you are going to do 100 push-ups.